Okay, it's 11 o'clock. We'll get started with our regular weekly meeting. Any public comment? Bill,
Um, with COLA and the Montana Democratic Party platform against the Bridger pipeline, do the commissioners have any official stance upon the pipeline?
at this time, I personally don't.
Officially, no
We're-
comment.
We're still looking at all the options and making sure that they are gonna do it as technically safe as they can. And they'll take care of the landowners that they're going through on leases. So we're still gathering information. That would be my personal thing. That's necessarily not speaking for everybody, I'm speaking for myself.
That's probably not politically correct. Um,
Because they're still having meetings on it. And we're still gathering information. I mean, they came to a couple of our meetings already and they're gonna be at more. They were at our oil and gas and coal county meetings talking about things.
Was that pretty positive?
Yeah, it was all just, their process and they're gonna, I think it's 3/4 inch steel and 1/2 inch when they go under any rivers or streams. And they're gonna go under any existing pipes that are there, like dry permeable water, we're concerned about that. And they're gonna go underneath all the existing dry permeable water lines. And they're all 8 foot deep, so. I guess that was our biggest concern is the 2 river crossings north of Roosevelt County and but even how they're gonna handle their crews, that was a concern also, where they're gonna stay and how they're gonna handle their food and all that, so that's all.
Did it say how big their crews should be?
They said, I think they're gonna use 6 different crews along the line from here to Wyoming. And so there won't be any crews, there's be 1 crew in each area. And they'll be spread out. They call it workforce housing, we have an ordinance against workforce housing, so. They won't be putting any big man camps up in Roosevelt County. They call them workforce housing, not man. And they said they're working with the local DES, local emergency services, and local sheriffs. So I think it's still a process we're going through.
Okay, any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll move down to commissioner update. Doug,
Just attended the normal meeting last week and was out of town, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
okay. Gordon,
Let's see, last week we had a Culbertson Airport Board meeting. They're putting up a new shop for the snowplow in a pilot's lounge. That's about, I'd say 70% complete right now. It's gonna be done August 1st. We had a NACO meeting with the tribal relations, talking about the ID for using tribal ID to register to vote if that Save America Act passes that Trump wants on you have to have to register to vote, you gotta show proof of citizenship. That's kind of an ongoing thing. And then meeting on that again. And they're gonna try to come up with a resolution to get that done. We had an energy summit in Miles City Thursday and Friday, and big topic there was data centers. And data centers have came a long ways. It's not the old data centers from 10 years ago that made a lot of noise and made a lot of heat and used a lot of water. They've changed a lot since then. They are all enclosed buildings. They don't have any noise. They use closed loop water systems. So they're doing a lot of different things there to make these data centers happen. And some of these counties are getting data centers that are just massive. I mean, their property taxes on them are huge, and they're kind of doing them right now. They're not like the old times, but that's, yeah, I don't know if any will come to Roosevelt County, but we also talked about renewables from solar to battery storage, the wind and solar, and them probably coming to Roosevelt County. Our biggest issue around here is the WAPA line's pretty full. So we don't really have a way to get rid of a lot of this energy, but a lot of that will be figured out in the future too. But we are looking at getting our planning committee up and redoing our growth policy so we can do some different planning things with maybe some zoning, limited zoning. I'm a big zoning fan, but we're gonna have to maybe have some offsets on some of these things, big windmills. There is one permit in Bain and Freud right now that they're looking at one. It's nothing set, they're just looking at them. So there's a little interest in wind. And then along that, you know, even these agreements you gotta have with these companies, there's different stuff that county government can do to limit the impacts with roads and noise and different things that we have control of. So we gotta have some of those in our ordinances, zoning the rules. So Casey was at this meeting also, our planner, so in the next year or so, we'll be working on that stuff. And yesterday I was in Billings for the John Oslin dedication for their new administrative building in the county government in Yellowstone County. It was a very nice little tribute to him, and he was kind of one of my mentors and meant a lot to me and taught me a lot of stuff. And he died in a car crash or a plane crash here 2 years ago, year and a half at least. Now I'm back to work again.
Okay. I was out end of last week with this rain coming in. We've had some road issues, some mud issues. I've been talking to Derek probably daily on good spots, bad spots. They're trying to get gravel on some roads that they did some early spring work on. There's going to be some roads that are going to be flagged, so I just asked the public to be patient. If they did have some washing in their roads, they'll get out there, they'll get them tuned up. Just hard to do anything with the moisture on the roads the way it is. And I don't know, maybe this was updated and somebody can tell me otherwise, but we did, Doug did start visited with the tribes on getting right-of-ways, public access, and we got Bartlett and West to do the paperwork. That was an existing contract from quite a few years ago, and they're going to start putting a map together of what roads on reservation have right-of-ways, whether it be through the TAM system, which is the tribal or the BIA public access, and what has right-of-way and stuff on that. So Bartlett and West will be working on that for the county, and then we'll get that map, and Doug will probably go back and meet with the tribes after we have that put together and see if we can't proceed forward to get public access on the remaining part of the roads, on reservation roads. So that's in a nutshell what I had going on. Any comments on commissioner update? Seeing none, we'll move down to minutes. We need approval of minutes for the regular public meeting on June 16th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Approval for the minutes of the compensation board meeting on June 18th. We have a motion.
Motion approved.
Second it.
Motion is second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Down to administrative issues. Sheriff's Office requests to purchase the Axon package for software and equipment replacement. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve that.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it. If Joe wants to explain it.
Motion and a second. We'll go ahead and get into some discussion on this. If you guys would like to explain this, I see Joe's in the room, and is it we have a rep online as well. Thank you for attending. So if you'd like to just dive on in and explain this, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to be here, even virtually. I appreciate it. And I believe we spoke about 2 weeks back and kind of preliminarily talked about, what the program was and what our goal and objective was for it. And I've been working with Deputy Moore on this as well as Sheriff, and just having conversations about long term, what is best for the department. We currently have 4 different contracts. It spans from taser, body worn camera, fleet, and then an additional smaller contract. But we're essentially unifying all of that together and extending that into a 10-year program with over 4 refreshes on the body worn cameras, a refresh on the taser halfway through, actually allowing the department to upgrade to the latest models available. But I think the biggest component and where our conversation started was around the full virtual reality training suite. So it encompasses community-based engagement training, live customizable scenario, use of force-based training, as well as just handgun and taser skills training. And essentially, it's a heavily discounted within this program as an incentive, and is something that we've essentially covered all the way from our full-time deputies to our jailers. So 31 total VR users and 31 people with access to 2 different headsets and can perform those modules, whether it be training, right? So muscle memory, hand-eye coordination, or on the community-based engagement side, more of the how are we interacting with our community, autism, schizophrenia, right? Peer intervention, even correctional environments. All of those are included within this bundle. But I think that's just the cherry on top. When we talk about a fleet reinstall halfway through, a taser upgrade halfway through, replacement of the body worn cameras every 30 months, and then replacement of the virtual reality equipment as well. The idea is, right, a unified connected ecosystem with one invoice and one contract where the county and the department don't have to make any additional investment over the course of the 10 years to receive all of those benefits. So that's in short. I know Deputy Moore is a big part of the process, so I'll turn it over to him if he wants to touch on anything as well.
Yeah, I guess to add on what he had stated, the biggest part of it started with the virtual reality training, and it's not just a toy system. I know when we look at the VR system, we think about the Oculus, all the Facebook video games and stuff. This is just a really good high-tech way to train our deputies and our detention officers with de-escalation skills, interview, mental health evaluation, interview skills, so we can, potentially not have to use force in the field. And with trainings like that, usually we have to travel to another agency, and that costs the county money for per diem and travel and gas. Or now we can just do it right here. All we need is Wi-Fi access. We can do it in the Wolf Point office. We can do it in the Culbertson office or anywhere we have access to Wi-Fi. And it's just playing with it. When I did my first exposure to it, I could instantly see what it was going to be worth. And then with the trial kit that Jonah sent us, was able to learn a few extra new things. So it's in the long run, it will save us a lot of time from losing deputies on travel time and help us build and maintain the skills we need to do our job safely and properly. And it's not just a toy, it's a skill that will help us throughout.
Does this the VR and I want to reiterate here that this package is covering your body cams, in-dash cam, tasers. What's the other one? Taser cartridges.
Yeah, the taser cartridge and kind of maintenance.
So and as Jonah said, the VR system, I view it as the cherry on top of the system, according to the breakdown, or nobody can see what's going to happen 10 years from now. But if we do engage in this 10-year program, over the 10 years by packaging it all together will save the county $342,360. Now that's projected, right? None of us can tell where the market's going to go, but I think they've got their finger on the pulse of where the market's going to be. It seems like every year these things come in with an increase. Does the VR help for qualifications? If you would kind of elaborate, you still have to go to the.
So for our annual qualifications for our taser systems, we still have to fire live cartridges at a static target. That's the bare minimum. That's kind of where we're at, where we've been at for a while. Just the bare minimum. We fire 2 cartridges. Now with our Taser 7s, we have to fire 4 because it's 2 separate cartridges per year.
Okay.
And for a lot of our deputies, that is all they fire. They don't deploy their weapons in the field, which in hindsight, it's a good thing that we're not having that many issues where we need that much use of force. But it also creates a lack of confidence in their skills in that system. This allows us to practice, train with that system without expending cartridges, without making waste, physical and monetary waste, where they can just plug in, throw on a headset, and practice their drawing, presenting, the muscle memory, and build their confidence and skills up in the system for both patrol and detention.
And that's where I guess I just wanted to explain it. I know Bill's here from the newspaper,
Right.
just so they get an idea of you fire 4 cartridges a year. I would almost assume, and you are the training officer, correct?
I'm one of the taser.
So I guess wanted to put that in there too. But when you fire the 4 cartridges, you gather around, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
one day
everyone
out-
takes a turn. Yeah.
One day out of the year, they
Yep.
go in the holster and they never pull them out for another 363, 64 times, right? So this will allow them once a month, whatever your training officer regimen is, they're required to come in and do this. So they keep that muscle memory, as you said there. So I just wanted that little board part. I guess it kind of
Right.
led you into it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I view this as a package, guaranteeing where our budget's going to be for 10 years with the projected savings of 342,000 if we don't have them bundled. Right now we have 4 standalone contracts. So that I guess that's my spiel. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Joni, you got anything to add before we call for a vote on this?
No, look, we'll be here for the next 10 years supporting the department. And I agree with you, Commissioner. I think there's a lot of benefit in this VR system, and I'm really excited to get it rolled out for the department and just continue our all-encompassing support. I think the only last thing I wanted to clarify, that $342,000 in program savings is just if you took every single item in this package and you took it at its MSRP pricing, what we would sell it a la carte for, that is how much we're taking off of what every single item would be. It's partially just our inherent bundle discounts, and then it's also partially the incentives and discounts we've applied to the VR training program. So that kind of adds up together. But otherwise than that, I really very appreciative of you guys allowing me to talk.
Absolutely. Any other discussion? Any other discussion?
What's the total price tag then?
$634,612.58 for 120 months. Just 10 years. So it'd be $63,400 a year, a year.
I know in this deal, there's some credit that we currently have on some programs. So there's a transfer of balance of $59,518. So they're putting that credit back towards it. So
We're basically getting 3 programs, bundle them together and get a little extras for them. So it's not costing the taxpayers really extra in there.
okay, any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion pass. Moving down, compensation board recommendation raise for the elected officials. Do we have a motion on that?
I make a motion, we do the compensation board recommendation of $3,500 for all elected officials.
Motion's been made for the $3,500 from the compensation board. Do we have a second?
Well, sir.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Say none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Moving down, non-elected and non-union cost of living raise. Do we have a motion?
Well, make a motion, we do a $1 per hour on all non-elected. Non-elected and non-union. Raises.
We have a motion of a $1 an hour raise for non-elected, non-union cost of living raise. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Do we have any discussion? I would just like to say that all union contracts were negotiated, would have been a year ago for a 2-year contract. That was the same cost of living increase that was negotiated for the union, so we're following along with the union contracts, so all employees will be receiving the same cost of living increase. Any other discussion? See none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Moving down to claims. Claims for June 18th, 2026 in the amount of $214,467.65.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Moving down to new hires, rehire Roger Chambers to the road department as I think he was mainly a mower operator.
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Rehire Rod Luff to the road department. Have a motion.
Make the motion to approve.
Motion to second, same with Rod, he was mower operator. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Derek, how many more operators do you need from?
We're probably gonna get 2 more, but we're kind of waiting right now. There's a,
Need to find some.
yeah, we got a kid, he has to get his license, he's just a young kid.
And you got Rod and Roger, they both worked for you before, they'll be
Yeah.
East End
Yeah.
operators.
Yeah, they both mowed a couple years apiece.
Okay, this was added on, this came in, I believe it was yesterday, additional administrative issues as needed. This is the sheriff's office request to hire Wesley Weeks as a reserve deputy. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? To my knowledge, reserve deputies do not get paid, but they must be covered under the county's liability. I do know that this young man wants to become a sheriff's officer, so this will be a good opportunity to kind of get his feet wet and make sure that's the career path he wants to go down. Any other discussion?
They don't get a stipend?
No, I don't believe they do.
I think they got something.
I think it's I think they're just covered on,
Maybe it's just workers' comp coverage.
yeah. I don't remember, it's been a long time since I was a reserve, so.
To my knowledge, I could be wrong on that as well. Well,
That's right, they just get coverage. So workers' comp.
any other discussion? See none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Any other new business, unfinished business? I mean, yes, sir, Bill? No, nothing? Got nothing for me? I'll entertain a motion to close. Make a motion to close. I have a motion. We are closed at 11:24.
This is reserved, did they get it done in the